when I joined my church choir, I noticed that the people there, most of them were old enough to be my parents. At that time, I was the youngest person in the choir. And I said I was a soprano, and I was handed the sheet music, and I just started singing with everybody else, catching up to them. I'm not a great sight singer, but if I hear the tune and I have the music in front of me, I will pick it up pretty quick. It's even better if I hear people singing the correct words. So, I just started singing with the choir, and Thursday nights and Sunday mornings, and I was really enjoying it. I was really liking the music and the messages in the music and just the way it felt to sing again after not really singing for a couple years, 3 years. I mean, seriously, I did not want to sing at all 3 years, so I had to kind of rebuild the strength of my voice a little bit. But one thing I always had about my voice that I thought was a problem was my voice is very small and light. So when I sing those high notes, I can't really blast them super loud. And when I sing high, my voice gets very light, very lightweight, and almost transparent, I want to say. Well, the choir director at the time, Hayden, started introducing people to me as one of his best sopranos. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, I'm not that good. My voice is not that loud. But he kept doing it. And I thought, maybe he's hearing my voice combined to somebody else and he thinks he's hearing something that he's not. But I was a new voice in the choir, so he could hear that new voice. And I said, why are you calling me your best soprano? I don't have a big voice. How can you even hear me? And he was like, he was from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so he had that Louisiana accent. So, very sweet speaking voice. I mean, he was an older man, probably in his 70s. So it was kind of like having another grandfather, really. And, he said, Cindy, you have the kind of voice sopranos would kill each other for. And I was like, excuse me, what? No. Sopranos are supposed to be loud and strong. And he cut me off and he's like, no. You can sing high notes lightly and quietly. There are not a lot of sopranos that can do that without blasting super loud. Your voice, it's so light and clear, it's like a little soap bubble. And I was like, okay. I didn't really believe him though, but I was like, okay, yeah, cool, thank you. I was very polite about it, and he continued to praise me. I never really told Hayden what had happened to me in high school. I kind of mentioned that I was bullied about my singing voice. So he was, that's probably why he mentioned that, and he would say that, because he was trying to make me feel better, but I was still I still had, bleeding wounds from high school in my soul, and the blood was not letting me accept what was being said to me. So I continued to sing with the choir and just enjoy it. I was starting to really love it. And then I recorded myself singing and I posted it online. And this was shortly after I met Donnie Winter on Kaiju File. He was the Eternal Mothra there. And go subscribe to Donnie Winter's channel, by the way. Great channel. But I recorded myself singing, and he was just falling all over himself, saying what a beautiful voice I had. And, initially I didn't believe him either. I thought, oh, he's just saying that just because he's trying to, make me feel good about how much I suck. Because I was still very damaged by what had happened to me. But I would sing and post it online just because, I did like hearing the nice things he had to say. So, I would post more because he liked it. And I knew he would always say nice things. But I did eventually start to believe, maybe I really do have something here that's worth hearing. And I started to believe him. I didn't start believing, oh, I got the best voice in the world, oh my gosh, I'm the most amazing singer. It wasn't like that. It was like, maybe my voice isn't bad. And then it was, I think around Easter of 2005 that Hayden left us. And we got a new director named Pro. It's a nickname. It's short for Porfirio. I think he was Filipino. But so he liked to be called Pro for short. Just like, pro baseball, pro wrestling, pro. And he had a very different directing style than Hayden did. He didn't spoon feed you notes one note at a time on the piano. He made you sight read and listen and really work and memorize things. He wouldn't tell you can't have your music with you for choir on Sunday, but he would go very quick through things and expect people to practice at home. So I had no way to do that, but I pick up music pretty quick. So just by being at practice as much as possible, sometimes I'd be sick and couldn't go, but I would just pay attention to everything, very close attention. And I remember a couple years after Pro came to us as a choir director, he approached me for a descant solo for a song called Treasures in Heaven. Oh my God. I said yes. But it still was not me singing alone. It was just me singing alone over the rest of the choir. Terrifying thing. Because even though I wasn't singing alone, if I messed up, everybody would know. And the reason this was terrifying is because it put me almost in exactly the same position I was in high school, where I had no way to practice this at home so that I could make sure I had it solid. But fortunately, I had access to the internet, and somebody that heard of my issue actually had a recording of this particular song, and they sent it to me. Oh, they saved my life. They saved my life. Necrotica Unlive Journal. That was their name. Girl, I don't know where you are now, but thank you. Because I was able to take the recording and then just cut it to just the descant part, so I don't have to listen through the whole song and then have to perk up for the descant. I could just turn the descant on and just play it over and over, the same part like a billion times every day. I burned it onto a CD, and I would just have just that part just over and over and over, and anytime I wasn't on the computer and out and about, I was listening to it. So I pretty much had the descant memorized by that Sunday, but I was worried that I would not be heard even though the choir has microphones. So Pro lowered one of the microphones for me, which really was good, and he looked at me and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to let you fail." Except when the time came, I could not hear the piano at all. But I had it so memorized by listening to the CD, which was a whole choir. So I knew when and where to sing and what notes to sing by listening to the other people, and I did it. I didn't have my camera there, but I remember my eyes were closed and I was just seeing all kinds of colors and shapes and spots and everything, and I felt like I was riding a roller coaster. And I was terrified. I was so terrified that when it was over, I almost didn't remember doing it. That's like how scared I was. And I thought I was going to faint. And as soon as we were done, we were supposed to keep standing, but I sat down because I thought I was going to faint. I just got really dizzy. And the people around me were congratulating me. They're like, you did it, you did it. And, you know, Pro picked me out of the whole choir to do this. To do that. And he picked me out of all the voices, all the sopranos he could have chosen from, and he picked me. And he told me I did great. My mom told me she got choked up because, you know, I created kind of a harmony, but my voice is so transparent that, you know, you couldn't really tell what was creating the harmony, just that there was a harmony there. So it's not like I was sticking out like over the whole choir or something. But I felt like I was, and that's what made it so terrifying to me. But I did it. And that's when I started to believe in myself and my voice. But, you know, I wasn't really ready to do major solo things yet. There was no way. But we did do Treasures in Heaven again another time, and I do have that on video. I do have that one on video, so yeah, you can hear me. Then in 2012, Pro got another job at another location, and he couldn't do that and still be the director at my church, so he had to leave. And I remember being kind of upset about that because, you know, I had really come to like him as a director and his style of directing and just challenging us with music, because Hayden kind of didn't challenge us. We would do a lot of the same things all the time. And Pro would give us challenging things like Baroque music, and I started to appreciate a whole bunch of different musical styles instead of just one style of music all the time. You know, like I learned how to do gospel music. And, you know, I was starting to believe in my voice enough that I was doing song covers. And I remember in 2011, the year before Pro left us, I did my cover of Linkin Park's Iridescent. And that had a really unexpected effect on me because just the feel of the song made me think about all the bullying, and I put all my anger and pain into singing that. And even now when I hear the song in my mind, I just think of the release of all those emotions that I've been bottled up with since high school. And they just, bam, when I sing that song, you are hearing a release. You are hearing me find freedom. So